Be strong.
Welcome in, roster the people. Thursday evening, week 11. Neil Smith, Jordan McDonald, Jason Draven. Jason, how you doing?
I'm good. Right now the Shockers are playing, so I'm slightly distracted, but not super surprising. College basketball's on. I'm excited, but I guess we'll have a bunch of games and fancy
Jordan, did you see
questions
my
to get
eyes
everybody.
start twitching?
Yeah.
He doesn't care until March. I understand. It's fine.
That's not why my eye is twitching. Watching you attempt to multitask is how the swear words start slipping through the filter. I need 100% focus on what we're about to do here. Jordan, how you doing, big guy? Welcome back, by the way. Hope you had a nice week off.
Yeah, thank you. I was just Jason kind of stole my my shtick because I say Leafs are playing, so I don't mind if I'm distracted.
Yeah, see? Nobody's paying attention.
You're gonna get everybody's A game, folks, tonight, apparently.
We know our watchers, they take their time out of their lovely day from watching the Leafs game to watch us. So we appreciate that. I know we have a lot of Leafs fans watching. Should we get into it? We have a lot of questions about Christian Watson.
We should probably get into it. And yes, we have lots of Christian Watson questions. So let's kick it off with those since they're relevant.
So Skylar is asking Watson tonight or wait and choose between Pickens and Palmer. Can I just say right off the bat?
Go ahead.
I'm worried about the flash in the pan that Watson was last week. Don't expect 3 touchdowns every week, especially 4 days after it happens. Go ahead, Jason, if you're going to
No, you're good. Well, I mean, no, I'm fine with that, but I think that part of that reason happened to be that Lazard was being covered. That was their main focus. So Watson was getting that single coverage. It was easy, which I think can again happen tonight because of the fact that Titans are a defense, but they do give up the deep balls. So I could see that being a big
Titans
case.
Are
for
a defense. That is true. They do.
They are. I said they are a good defense. It's moderate. But
I didn't hear good. I just heard they are a defense, and I'm like, that's true. They are a defense. I got to give you that.
They do have a defense of some sort.
They exist.
I would expect them to try and cover Lazard again, and so Watson. While I don't think he has the touchdowns, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over 100 yards tonight.
Yeah. I will say, for me, as I waffle through my rankings here. For me, it's going to be Pickens. Yeah, it's going to be Pickens. That's who I'm going with here. There's 2 main reasons for that. One, I'm allergic to starting players on Thursday night. Fair. I can't do it. I can't go there. The offenses are too bad on Thursdays. Offense has been down in general across the league this year, which is a conversation we could have at length at some point. But for me, it's Pickens, and you might say, well, what about Palmer? Okay, Palmer I would be more interested in if I wasn't really confident that they're probably going to get Keenan Allen back this week, and there's a good chance you get Mike Williams back this week. I don't know that I want to wait to play that game with that at the end of the week here. So I can't go with Watson tonight, and I don't really want to play with the Chargers wide receivers and roll those dice. And we're talking about 2 spots in my rankings anyway between Pickens and Palmer. So I'm going to go with Pickens. Pickens has been sneaky good the last several weeks. So I'd go back to the well on that.
Yeah, I agree. I would expect, I don't know. I'm more nervous about Allen being out. I do expect Williams to be back. So if Allen's out, Palmer gets a bump up. But even then, I'd much rather go with the upside of Watson than try and get a safe floor, which would be Pickens in the middle.
I just don't think we're going to see the Watson magic again. I would wait, and it seems like Palmer's the only healthy, and by I say healthy, he's the only one practicing full this week. Am I right, Jason? Like, I know
so far, yeah.
Both the 2, Allen and Williams, are coming back from injury. DeAndre Carter's got a rib injury. Even Gerald Everett's banged up, so there might be something there. I would wait. And I would see. I think you couldn't go wrong with either of them. Maybe just wait to see what's going on with the Chargers, but that's going to be kind of iffy with that being a Sunday night game. And then M. Gonzalez, same question, except with just Watson or Pickens. We just went over this. I would go Pickens personally.
Yeah, let's do that just formally. We're gonna remove Palmer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You already heard what I had to say, so I'm not gonna repeat it.
Yeah, I really think it depends on your team. If you're projected to win, play safe, play Pickens. If you're projected to lose, I'd play Watson and go for the upside. But that's also how I play everything is. I'm taking the risk, baby. Let's go. I'm taking the 8-leg parlay. We're going to roll it out and see what we can win here.
And another question from Dr. Squatch. Love your soaps. Just kidding. I've never used them. Fun to be back with you guys. What are your thoughts on Christian Watson? Have to pick two from Christian Watson, Jacoby Myers, and Darius Slayton. This is interesting.
Yeah, because Myers and Slayton have a really safe floor this week.
Well, does Myers really, one of them's going to get Sauce Gardner?
Doesn't matter. In their first matchup, he put up over 100 yards.
Well, let's just do this way. Is anybody not starting Myers? I'm playing Myers 100%.
I'm playing Myers.
I'm iffy. I have a bye week, and I need to fill in, and Myers on the bench, and I'm a little concerned. It's a no-point league.
Of these three,
I'd probably play Myers.
Anybody not playing Myers?
I would probably play Myers. That is the one that's easy.
So Myers is on the board.
Myers is in. So you're talking about Watson versus Slayton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just get my thing out of the way. I'm probably going to play Slayton. I literally have them right next to each other in my rankings, 32 and 33 respectively. Because you're talking about flexes. You're talking about, okay, that's a PPR ranking, so you can adjust for half point. Okay, it's sort of the Spider-Man meme because you're talking about guys that get 4 targets.
Well, but on that same note, Robinson's out this week.
Wan'Dale Robinson? You don't know that. You think that. You don't know that yet. He missed.
I don't think that's confirmed. It's looking likely, but it's not confirmed yet.
I can get why you're saying that, but don't say that like that's like a news report that people can go Google. And they're going to, because the first thing that's going to happen, Jason, is they're going to go to our Discord and they're going to think, you said he was out. And then I have to sit there and answer that question. So we're not doing that. We're not reporting that way. We're going to report real things like he's missed 2 consecutive practices. It's trending
with a hamstring injury.
Okay. But that's different from I know for sure that Wan'Dale Robinson's not playing. You don't know that yet. So you got to tell people the straight facts. They got to wait for the Friday injury report. But I agree with you. It's leaning towards Wan'Dale Robinson probably misses the game. So that's also why I'm saying I go back to the well with Slayton more than likely because that's Sunday. And I'm not counting on Watson getting 3 touchdowns. And so at that point, you're talking about what exactly? Like, I'm also less confident than you seem to be that the Titans will be successful in covering Lazard.
Yeah. So like everything else, I make a narrative in my head of how all these games are going to go.
I can tell.
It's how I always do it. So with that in mind, I have Lazard going.
Jordan, that's it, buddy.
It's how I work it through everything.
You were watching the sausage be made in real time.
You are. This is how the sausage gets made, folks.
Yeah. So I expect Lazard to have at least 6 receptions with 40 yards, and then I have Watson going for 4 receptions and 110 yards.
Wow.
4 for 110. Does he score?
Nope. Lazard gets the touchdown.
This is great. Well, just for me,
so that's what I have it as.
I already said my piece. I'm not arguing.
I
already said I'd play Slayton. He's telling you to play Watson is what that
for upside
long thing was. Like,
it's half PPR. So on that same note, I have Darius Slayton for 6 catches and 90 yards. 6 catches and 90 yards. So at least
that's not how I see that going at all.
Well, they are playing the Lions.
I get that, but that's not. He doesn't get that kind of volume typically. Even when they're playing a bad team, they played a terrible defense last week, and he had a good week, and he had 4 receptions.
But again, Robinson was playing, even if he was injured.
Okay.
It factors in. I'm just
all right. Like I said, it's not changing my advice. I already gave my piece. I'm not trying to drag this out any longer than it's already gone. So Jason's saying Watson because of upside. Jordan, you want to split the tie?
I'm gonna agree with you, Neil. I'm gonna go with Myers and Slayton. I'm on the side of you. Like I just don't want to start somebody on Thursday that's not a given. That's not one of your studs. Like it's not an Aaron Jones.
I'll tell you how little I want to start players on Thursday night. I have a choice between starting Alan Lazard and Jamal Williams as a flex. I think it's a PPR league, so normally you would lean wide receiver there, right? Yeah, I'm not playing Alan Lazard. I'm playing Jamal Williams in what is a matchup for him, but I think it's much more likely that Williams stumbles into the end zone because I just don't trust anything on Thursday night. I don't trust it. It's all bad, and I'm willing to get burned like I did last week by Donta Foreman and them not following through with any of the practice reports or any. What a waste of time that entire conversation was.
Before we move on, I want to say, because I wasn't here last week, Jason, I have to apologize because I laughed in your face when you said Cordell Patterson wasn't getting you 15 points, and then he went and got you like more than that when you got 2 touchdowns.
2
no,
weeks
that
ago.
was
2
like
weeks
that was
ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks
Last-
ago.
last
We gotta be
week.
clear. We got to be clear.
last week.
Last week, Jason was right about not wanting to play Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, he's the Cordell Patterson whisperer. We know that. All right,
This,
so
this week I
he's
have him right in the
Arthur
middle.
Smith.
I'm very nervous.
Hold on, Jordan. Before you go to the next question, Mike, you're welcome back anytime, buddy. I love you. I love when you're here. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. Anytime.
So yeah, like we say, get your. Oh, here we go. Yeah,
That's
that's what I would do. We have another question, a little similar to what we just went through.
This is the
Darius
same.
Slayton.
This is literally the same question.
Yes, well, in my opinion, yes, I would. Jason's the only one that will probably fight you on that.
It again depends on what you're looking for. If it's a PPR league, I'd rather go Slayton. If it's standard, I'd go Watson.
All right, and we know that Neil agrees. And like I said, get your Thursday questions in. We have a few minutes before kickoff. I think we're good. I don't think
You
I
got
see
25 minutes before kickoff
Yeah.
here, so we got a
we'll
little
start-
bit of time.
We'll start getting to the other questions. Danny Ward. All right, man, it's
Nope.
time.
Hold on.
Oh,
Oh wait, hold
Oh.
on. Oh wait, no, never mind. We'll do it here anyway because it's Soaring Eagle 175. This is my fault.
super
I'm-
fan Soaring Eagle 175.
Thielen.
Nope. Still going Slayton.
Well, okay. You want a nuanced answer? Well, Jordan thinks. I'll give you a nuanced answer.
I absolutely
go
hate
on.
Thielen.
I'll give you a nuanced answer. In PPR, Adam Thielen is 9 to 11 points every week. This is post Kyle. You look it up. Like it's 9 to 11 guaranteed. Before the Rudolph thing, it was 12. And so it's a question of whether or not you think he's going to get a touchdown in that. That's without scoring a touchdown. That's really consistent at this point. It's 5 for 50, 5 for 50, 5 for 50. So if you need 5, I would rather know that I'm going to get 5 for 50 with the upside for a touchdown and deal with that reality versus the scenario where Darius Slayton, you could get any range of outcomes. And I would literally not be surprised. Darius Slayton could have a 25. He could have a 3. And I would look at you the same way and be like, yeah, it's Darius Slayton. It's a question of like, we don't know a lot of these things. So I would answer this in my trademark style. What do I think I need to win, my friend? Do I think I'm going to get pantsed by my opponent? Because if I think I'm going to get decked and I need all my upside, yeah, you put Slayton in there and you don't worry about it too much. But if I'm projected to win and I feel like I'm in a good spot to win that game, I'm probably going to just plug and play Thielen because I know what I'm getting. And we can have any conversation you want about the merits of Adam Thielen. I don't think his role is up for debate. I think you know pretty well what you're getting at this point. So I'll come off it.
Yeah, you convinced me. I'm picking Thielen. I just looked at the numbers and you're right. Like the floor is safer.
The floor is
No, I know.
granite.
I know.
Like-
That goes without saying. I get that, but Slayton, it's been a couple good weeks. And like Jason said, Wandale's probably not going to play in the game. We don't know that for sure, but probably not.
It's getting
gonna play
there.
in the
It's
game.
trending that way. I get why people would want to draw that conclusion.
I mean, it's a good question. Like, don't get me wrong.
And you know
but-
Kenny G's not catching any balls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and depending on how that game goes, it could be a shootout.
Go back to watching the Shockers. Yeah,
28-19.
I'm gonna go out of
28-19. I like it. I like it.
Jason, are we going? You're going Slayton.
Oh,
Or
I bet I
just-
know the. I was going to say, I
Okay.
bet I know the
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
to that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
hates Adam Thielen and everything
Also
Adam
true.
Thielen stands for. He hates consistency. He hates floor. Like not just the floor in that sense. He hates actual floors. Like he hates the floors in his house. Like it's how that
Floor
works.
is lava, 100%. I have just random stuff that I can jump off of from spot to spot.
Oh goodness. Okay. Moving on. Daniel Ward. 2 questions in one. Standard. Montgomery or Connor? It's Montgomery. No
With-
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Run the
I agree
ball,
with that.
playing against a weak Duck defense.
Also, because it's standard.
Yeah, if
If it
it's
was
PPR,
I would actually maybe debate this with you, but
it'd be
standard.
close. It'd be real close.
and
Also,
I'm
stop playing standard. Just stop it.
And I'm guessing the same league. Standard. Gabe Davis, DJ Moore, Pittman, pick 2. Michael Pittman. I'm guessing not dead. Matt Ryan. Miraculously
going to
became
target.
starting corner again, and he got 7 for 9. I don't know what the yardage was, but
Jeff Saturday came in and just started knocking people's heads
well,
together.
I feel like
and was
Jeff Saturday came
I
in.
was like,
No,
you're going
he
to
came
use
in.
the stars I have.
He probably looked and he was like, "Why the bleep are we starting Sam Ellinger? I mean, did you see him?
Correct.
Can't play football."
Maybe one day.
Eh.
But right now, no.
Yeah.
As we sit here today and have this conversation, I agree with you.
But no, the answer here: Gabe Davis and Pittman. If this game was in Buffalo with 6 feet of thunder snow,
Which
I
they're
would've
not
went
doing
DJ
that
Moore.
anyway. They're not
But
doing that anyway.
they're not
playing
doing
that game in
anyways.
Detroit.
so I'm going Gabe Davis and Pittman.
I
Let's
agree.
cover that real quick, just for the record. They have moved that game, so we don't need
That
to
is
answer
official.
those
Yeah,
questions
that's
anymore.
official.
In
That
a
is
dome
official.
in Detroit.
I was just saying if it hadn't been moved yet, I probably would have went DJ Moore and Pittman. But
No, I get that. I agree with that. I'm just saying. So, by the way, I agree with you, Gabe Davis and Pittman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a nice mix of things there. I don't trust the DJ.
Well, and also Baker is the QB for the Panthers. So
yeah, not helping.
That's why
Well, they want-
I'm
and apparently
not
the
messing with
Panthers-
more.
Apparently, the Panthers want Sam Darnold to start.
which
Figure
is
that out.
shocking.
Figure
Shocking.
that out. Like, work it out. Like, but yeah, it's Gabe Davis and it's Pittman, and I don't think it's actually that close.
No. Thomas Dotson.
What's up?
What's up,
Welcome
guys?
in.
Enjoy listening while at work. Well, thank you. The Discord's been awesome. Helped me through 2 trades in the 2 weeks. Got my squad prepared for the playoffs 8-2. No problem. These guys are great. They're professionals. Well, they'll tell you they're professional. I don't want to step any toes, but they
I'm
know
not
what they're talking
professional.
about.
I've never claimed to be a professional.
Well, that's what I'm telling.
Like,
I called you professional, and I figured you were going to get in.
I'm just a big kid.
In a demeanor, yes.
Like,
Well,
I'm
he-
professional in demeanor and an analytical quality, but when you cross me, that's when the childish behavior will start. Ask Jason.
Yes,
Like,
as
cut
we've
his- I-
have
I'm
seen.
I'm gonna cut his mic actually.
So he's got a 2 for 1. So a tight end, he's asking Njoku or Dulcich, and then he's also asking Gabe Davis or Peoples Jones. So I guess we'll start with tight ends. I'm gonna go Dulcich. Njoku coming off
Really?
injury. Yeah, well, I mean, like,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trusting. Well, it is PPR. Never mind. So yeah, it's Njoku for me. I can't even coming off of injury. I don't think they'd rush him back. There's no reason to. And
let me
in
say,
this game,
I'm biased. I've never trusted Njoku. I remember the time that the Browns played Thursday night this week, and I was dead wrong. And I think that was like his
wrong.
only good game. But yeah, like,
We used to have a drop for that long time ago before the soundboard died. I shouldn't even bring that up because then people are like, "Where's the soundboard? The
Soundboard.
soundboard is dead. It got buried in the woods, and then we can't afford a new one." You could help us afford a new soundboard by joining our Discord channel and
Or
help
buying
us
merch.
pay for a new soundboard.
We do
know-
have our merch though.
I will say the numbers for Njoku have been good, but again, it's coming off injury that's worries me. I don't know what that's going to look like.
On the
and
road
you have
again, though.
Dulcich. It's not like you have Njoku and
Oh God, are you buying into the home road splits argument too?
Oh, no, I don't
worst-
care about the home
No,
road
I'm talking to
Oh,
Jason.
oh,
Like the worst statistical argument I've ever heard.
For Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, that
I
argument.
love it. I love it.
I know you do because it doesn't involve math.
3 for 30, baby. 3 for
Oh,
30.
Jesus. Okay. You're not the only person, by the way.
And
I only
Joker
bring that
didn't
up
win,
because
man.
you're not the only person that's out there
Well-
touting that.
Well, don't you remember when Roethlisberger did that for like 3 years in a row.
Sure, bring up the
insane.
one. You got another example besides the one outlier at a different position? Because I'll wait. I got all night. Yeah, that's
just
what I
happens.
thought. Yeah,
It's all good.
yeah. The one example, the one
Roethlisberger is the
card you
one, like,
pull out of your pocket.
yeah, the one that I remember.
That's because it's the only one that exists.
Good
Home
for
road
this
splits
guy.
historically are not a thing outside of Ben Roethlisberger for 3 years. Anyway, we've gone completely off the rails.
Yeah.
Here's how I'll answer this question. I know Greg Dulcich is playing. So as you ask me this question today, the answer is Greg Dulcich because Greg Dulcich is playing. Now, if we get closer to Sunday and Njoku actually does get cleared, for example, I will tell you, I don't even have Njoku ranked this week. I will add him to my rankings when I can get some sort of clarification that he's actually going to play football. So that's my concern, because here's the other part of this lovely conundrum. You got to wait until Sunday now. It's Sunday at 11 o'clock. So you'll know, which is good, and you got Dulcich in your back pocket. So you'll know, but you really want to trust Njoku first week out on a neutral site game in a game that I assume matters since you're 8-2 and you're trying to cement, I'd imagine, the 1 seed in that league. Do you really think you need to roll the dice with Njoku on your 8-2 team? If you were 5-5 and you were asking me this question, I bet I give you a different answer. But at 8-2, why are we playing games? Like, why are we rolling dice that probably don't need to get rolled? And now if you're playing some sort of 9-1 team, yeah, go nuts. But I'm probably going to deal with it that way. Jason, I see your little dismissive noises. Do you want to jump in here?
You're good. No, I agree. If Njoku doesn't play, I completely understand playing Dulcich, but that would be the only place.
That's not understanding what I just said. That's at all. Like, just categorically.
I do have him ranked. I have him ranked 7. It's because I do think he's going to play, and because of the fact that the Bills have that funnel defense, it would lead to Njoku seeing more targets and being valuable. So,
all right.
So on the contrary, well, not contrary, but like, let's just go to the next question. Let's just say Njoku does play. How do you feel about DPJ then?
He's what he always is, 3, and he has to catch a long one. He's getting 3 receptions, and one of them is going to be long. So you're getting
more than 3 receptions. Like, I can go through this with you if you like. Like,
well, is Poyer back yet, or is he still sidelined? Give me a second.
I'd like to just point out that 3 receptions for DPJ is he hasn't had a game that poor since week 3. So he's beat 3 receptions every week, literally straight down every week since week 3. So just so we're clear, you're underselling DPJ. That being said, I'm probably still starting Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Because and here's my rationale for it. It's not because I actually like Gabe Davis better than DPJ per se. It's DPJ does not get involved in the red zone. He actually got a red zone target last week for the first time in like ever, and he didn't catch it. So the what you're talking about here is who's more likely to score a touchdown. It's Gabe Davis is more likely to score a touchdown in that game. So it gets into the floor ceiling argument to a certain extent too. Like, but I can tell you, I love DPJ. Like, I've been recommending him as an ad for a very long time. But when you actually break it down into rankings, I have DPJ in like the upper 30s. So he's like a wide receiver 3. Gabe Davis is a high-end wide receiver 2 because it's really boom or bust. It's like starting Tyler Lockett. Historical Tyler Lockett, not this season Tyler Lockett, which is a whole other conversation for a different day. It's that argument though, where it only takes 1, and Gabe Davis will pay you out because it's an 80-yard touchdown. DPJ hasn't done that yet. That's your rail splitter.
The touchdown gets you every time.
Yeah. No, I agree. For sure.
I don't even like Gabe Davis that much.
I'm starting to grow on him just because again, I'm very biased. I kind of have to. I traded him for Leonard Fournette, and now I'm like on the Gabe Davis train. But anyways, next question. Skyler again, pick 2 full PPR: Palmer, Gus Edwards, James Robinson, Paris Campbell. Wow.
What a
Campbell,
weird
for
team.
sure. And
So you trust Paris Campbell going against the Eagles defense? Like I know you might bring up Terry McLaurin. Paris Campbell's not Terry McLaurin.
no, I do it because the fact that they will be more focused on Pittman, and Campbell is seeing
Yeah, but
10 targets
but they got 2 good cover corners, and that worries me.
working out of the slot.
And they got like I can see I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing Matt Ryan on his backside like we have all season because they have a very ferocious defensive line. Colts offensive line held up well against the Raiders. I don't believe this is Jeff Saturday magic. I just think that Josh McDaniels is a fraud of a head coach, and I think that he got what he deserved, and it was a special win, and it's going to go out the window versus the Eagles. That being said, don't love these options.
I am here for calling Josh McDaniels a fraud.
He is a fraud.
That is normally I would chastise you for slander and not getting us in trouble. I think I could defend it in court, so I'm not even gonna.
Well,
I literally think I could defend it in a court of law. So
There's something poetic
and
about
I'm not
how
a
Josh
lawyer, by the way,
McDaniels
and I think I could do it.
spurned the Colts 2018, and he just got beat by guys never coached.
Ruined their season, by the way, in doing.
He
so.
made
I
Derek
remember
Carr
that.
cry. That's how good of well, I don't know what that was about, but anyways, we're going off the rails again.
We got time.
Yeah, we do. Well, unless I gotta just check to see if there's any.
No, there's more questions, but we do need to answer this question properly for because waiting patiently.
I'm going to say it's going to be Campbell and Edwards based on matchups.
For me, Edwards is for sure. I think Edwards is the one you have to start out of these 4.
Really?
Yeah, this is the only one I actually feel
All right.
good about. And well, Palmer, depending on who's starting for the Chargers.
That would be the other issue, yes.
James Robinson, I can't trust. I'm sorry, I just can't.
I'm not debating. No, okay. I think we're all going to agree. James Robinson's off the table.
Yeah.
Like I think that's probably pretty easily done. James Robinson right now is like what? In my rankings, he's like RB 34. He's a flex running
that's
back.
higher than I thought it'd be.
He's a flex. Well, you got to look at who's on bye, and also
you're right,
like you got to look at also like what some of these matchups actually are. And I will say, James Robinson has been slowly getting more involved. He's not droppable. He's not that bad. He's not like a cut. It's just
coming off a bye, right? Or no, they played last week.
No,
off
the bye. Okay. He's coming off the bye. He's scored a touchdown. He's getting more involved. So some of the nice things that people were hoping would happen with Robinson have started to happen. But I mean, you're talking about a flex level running back here. Honest to God, man, I just do not trust Gus Edwards at all. I don't trust it in any way, shape, or form. To be perfectly honest with you, this is a tough one for me because you're picking between things I don't want to deal with. So for me, it's like I'm gonna run Palmer out in this case because I actually feel like there's a realistic chance that Jason's right and they don't get both. We don't know that they're going to get both of their main starters back. And if either one of Allen or Williams has to sit another week, this decision is easy. It's Palmer. Palmer's got to go out there for full PPR. So I'm probably going to wait and see on that. But in my initial rankings, and these do get updated throughout the week, by the way, I opened my initial rankings with Gus Edwards at RB 40 because I need to see practice reports. I need to see like something. Now,
I know that. Sorry, go ahead.
Frog limited both days.
Sure, but like the last time he came in, they still gave Kenyon Drake the first shot, and it's just that week Kenyon Drake didn't look good. So then they rotated to Gus Edwards. There's no guarantee that happens again. None of this is set in stone. Like it's like I am not as confident that Gus Edwards can just walk back in here and deal with it. Now, I'm also not confident in Paris Campbell. This is why I like this question because this is a hard question because you're dealing with a situation where you just must be wrecked with buys for this to be a conversation that we're actually having. So, but for me, the easy one, the layup for me is Palmer. That's the one that I know I'm going to deal with. Because the rest of it is like,
assuming one of them is out, right? Or are you just assuming everybody plays?
Well, in my initial rankings, yeah, because I'm going with the idea that I've got Mike Williams lower in the rankings. Because again, similarly, I've got Mike Williams at wide receiver 60. You won't finish the week at wide receiver 60. He'll either get removed or he'll move up. And then that'll be an alteration. But you're talking to me on Thursday before anybody has snapped a football. So based on what I know, I'm running Palmer out there. And honest to God, this is where we get into my weird, wonky, what do I think I need questions about, like, what do you actually need? So I'd say it's Palmer, and then I swear to God, you're like rolling a dice the rest of the way. It's Palmer, and then wait for practice reports. Is
I
like
know
my
that
actual answer to
Harbaugh
this.
did say, and I know you can't really trust coach, but Harbaugh was adamant that Edwards is going to play. Also, I think the matchup's great. That's kind of why I'm on Edwards. I'm going Palmer Edwards. I think Palmer is still startable, even if both Allen and Williams play, because I don't think that's going to be much. I could see pitch counts, or I could see limited work, or I could see
Possible.
something. And like I said, Palmer's the only seemingly healthy pass catcher among those. We have some Thursday questions. Let me get to those. Matt has asked PPR, Lazard or Pickens. Thursday games scare me. I actually like Lazard. Like, I know I said, like, Lazard's the
Safe
only
floor.
receiver I actually kind of trust on this team right now with Romeo Dobbs out.
Very consistent. He isn't the shiniest toy, but man, is he putting up solid numbers every week. I still think I would go Lazard. I mean, I think he's wide receiver 24 on the year.
Even I have to go Lazard here. The gap is too big.
Mhm.
I can't justify the Thursday night argument here. So I think we're gonna clean sweep. We're gonna clean sweep
Perfect.
Lazard here for you.
Next question, Sparky Klutz. PPR.
How does
Christian
so
Wa-
many people have Pickens and Watson on their
I
team?
know this is
Welcome to my life, bro. I've been answering this question all day. Legitimately.
Sorry. So
We've
at
answered this
Flex-
question 100 times.
Yeah.
2
but-
votes Pickens, 1 vote Watson.
Yeah, I'm going Pickens. There's nothing changed.
It's Pickens. It's Pickens, and it's Watson down there in the shadow realm in the darkness.
Yeah, I wouldn't really. I don't know about Juju, but
I would be more worried about Sutton. If assuming that
Juju
I'm
is
okay.
probably not clearing protocol,
Correct.
right? Like,
I don't think so. After
I'd be
like,
shocked. I'd be shocked if Juju's playing this week.
Yeah.
So honestly, you could probably play. I'd probably end up playing both of them over Sutton if Judy plays. That would be if Judy plays. I'm more
Judy's
nervous
not
for
playing
Sutton.
though, in my opinion. I don't know
Okay.
that, but Judy's not playing in my opinion. So for me, it's Sutton over. Wait. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm understanding the question. As Flex.
So
Sutton's already in the lineup.
Yep. So if
Yep,
Juju,
so Juju.
doesn't clear, which he shouldn't.
Which he probably
Because-
won't.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're playing Sutton, in my opinion, because I don't think Judy's playing this week. I'd be shocked again if Judy was able to. He hasn't practiced at all this week, and it's really looking like they're going to give him the week off, which is probably smart.
It should be.
And so if that's the case, then we go right back to Pickens, Watson, and
I'm gonna move on. Next question: Big trusts PPR pick 3. Another Sutton, Lazard, Christian Watson. Does everyone have Christian Watson? Like Mike?
Yes. Everybody picked him up.
choices. Okay.
Okay. Let's just break this down.
So everybody has Lazard, right? Lazard and Sutton, or no? PPR.
Well, I think Pollard. Pollard, you have to play. I think Pollard's easy play.
It's not okay. I'm eliminating McKinnon.
Yeah,
Correct.
get rid of. Yeah,
No
get rid of him.
McKinnon.
No command.
I not playing a tight end over any of that. I know he's had 2 good games in a row.
Yeah.
Whoopee for him. You'd have to be really desperate.
I'd say Sutton, Pollard, and Lazard. Those are my 3.
Sutton, Pollard, Lazard. I'm going
Those
with
are
that.
my 3.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, that would be your safe play.
That is the safe play. That's your khaki pants. If you want to live like Jason and grab life by the hojos and live with the results of those decisions.
Only have
then
full
play
accelerated, buddy.
Okay.
It's all
I would never. There's no scenario where I'm playing 2 Packer receivers on a Thursday night game.
No.
It's never going to happen. I will never set a lineup like that, and I will never recommend others do either.
All right. I'm trying to see where did we end off before.
Well, you figure that out.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, okay.
Skylar's up next. Are we worried about Pittman versus Eagles playing with confidence? I think you
I
have to
feel
play.
more
I think
More
he's
confident
probably
PPR.
yeah, I think he'll get his touches. Like you can't expect too much out of him, but I think that just how that team's going to be, I
You're
think he's going to
asking
get
me,
his.
okay, if I'm worried, he's my wide receiver 18, so no.
And that's starter. I think we're all in agreement.
Wide
I know
receiver 2.
and Skylar also asks Njoku or Moreau full PPR. That's
If
one you're going to
Njoku plays, I'd probably actually play Njoku.
I would agree. I know that
I don't trust the Raiders or Moreau or any of it.
I mean, Moreau's nice. Like he's like a nice like if my tight end one is hurt, but yeah, Njoku plays, you got to play him over or him for sure. Oh my goodness. Daniel Ward.
Daniel. Yeah, there you go.
Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson. I've seen a lot of Russell
Oh.
Wilson love this week because he's playing the Raiders and had a good game against them. Russell Wilson.
Their secondary god awful. I'll give you that much.
Well, you know who else's secondary was awful? The Titans, and he did nothing. If it wasn't for a Virgil,
he lost Jerry Jeudy on the first play of the game. That didn't help. Like, didn't help me either. By the way,
Kirk Cousins matchup's not great either.
I'm playing.
He just pulled out a big win.
I'm playing Cousins.
Cousins, your khaki pants.
I'm playing Cousins against Dallas because there's zero scenario where I'm starting Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how low I have Russell Wilson. I would rather flex Marcus Mariota over Russell Wilson. That's how little I think of Russell Wilson. So.
Well, the fun stat.
But I'm bitter. I'm very bitter on this topic, so you probably don't want to listen to me all the way straight down. I find it hard to be completely objective when we discuss Russell Wilson in these scenarios.
Sounds like you live in Denver.
No, who would live in Denver? That's terrible. It's literally snowing here today. That's the other reason why I'm bitter. It's really cold here today.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is definitely your khaki pants play. Wilson had his only, I think, QB 1 week where he put up 30 fantasy points. It's tempting, but I would much rather go Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
I know. Well, the fun thing is the Raiders are giving up a better QBR than Mahomes has, like on average right now. I'm just saying.
The Raiders are also, okay, if you want to get into weird stats, the Raiders are also allowing less points and less yards than they did last year when they went 10-7. Figure it out. The league is broken. Let's go back to Skylar.
Pick 2, Pickman, Singletary, or Palmer. Probably the upside matchup, AJ. No, it doesn't matter. Honestly, at this point, for me, because I play in so many leagues, I don't really care who my opponent has because, like, it doesn't matter.
You start playing in like 5 leagues, and it's like you're going to be playing with and against everyone.
Everybody.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it really depends on what you do. So let's look through this.
Pittman is an automatic include for me.
Yeah.
And then I'm deciding between Pickens or Palmer.
And it's based on who plays.
And it is kind of based on who plays. I'd say if you're asking me this question today, it's directly. It's close. It is close. They're right there.
Yeah, because Allen and Williams have gone through individual drills both days. And
well, I have Palmer at 27 and Pickens at 30. It won't finish that way. So it's like you're picking between 3 different spots.
The thing, and it sucks too, like I mentioned before, that the Chargers game is a Sunday night game.
Yeah, so you don't get the luxury of
knowing sooner.
You'll see the inactives when all the other guys have played. That being said, I still think Palmer has value, even if both of them play. I'm going to go Palmer. I'm going to go Pittman Palmer.
Yeah. I'm probably going Pittman Pickens and just avoid the whole situation.
Yeah, that would,
Well, he also needs upside. And Pickens is a good amount of upside. Pickens is the most upside of any of those this week. I'd argue in previous weeks Palmer might have been higher upside, but for this
especially
week
against the Chiefs.
Yeah, but for this week specifically, Pittman Pickens is how I'm going to go with it.
Definitely offer the most upside for sure.
All right, Dr. Squatch. I guess another league than the other one he gave. PPR pick 2: Ayuk, Foreman. Is it Elijah Mitchell, DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, or Hollywood Brown? I don't even know if that's an actual
I'm removing
option.
Hollywood Brown completely.
That's out.
Yeah.
I could say DJ Moore out.
Yeah, based on the other
Mitchell.
options.
Mitchell out.
Well, Mitchell got like what 20 carries last week. He's not irrelevant.
Don't care.
And well, I do care because you want to follow the volume trends. Volume is king in fantasy football, no matter
Yeah.
what Jason wants to try and tell you. The
Based on the other players,
Honestly, Foreman
three
kinda
other
scares
players.
me. I'm not gonna lie. Foreman scares me after a
his
dud
massive
week.
game.
Or no, sorry. Let me.
No, he had a really good week
No,
last
sorry,
week.
I-
The
I
dud
so
before
confused.
the dud was
That was
before
before.
that. You take
That was
1 week
before that,
off,
yeah.
I swear, and it's like it's like
Yeah,
you're coming back.
Completely lost.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely playing Ayuk. I'll tell you that right
Correct.
now. That's happening.
Yeah.
And then it's
Um,
close.
I'm gonna play Ayuk. I'm gonna play Ayuk and Myers. That's what I'm doing.
I don't love the Foreman matchup though.
Against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't hate that matchup.
Yeah,
not
it's
that
really not
bad.
that
It's not that bad this year. Other years, it's terrible. This year, it's not so bad.
Well, thing is too, it's like if they get behind, are they really going to be forcing it to Foreman? Probably.
See,
not.
that's my concern. Is if they start getting blowed out, Foreman goes bye-bye
Yeah.
pretty quick. So that's why I'm saying for me, especially that the fact that there even is a half-point PPR component to this, I'm gonna play Ayuk and Myers.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah, like I said, it's close, but
If it was full
if it's-
PPR, we wouldn't
would
even
be-
be having
yeah.
this conversation.
it'd be Myers
The only
100% then.
The only reason I'm having this conversation with you is because it's half point.
But even then, I still think you go Myers and
So-
Ayuk.
I believe there's no more Thursday questions, even though kickoff has happened. So good luck if to those who did play Christian Watson. Aaron Cantu, full PPR, Jalen Warren, Kareem Hunt, Darrell Henderson, Tyler Algier. Woof. You're right about sucky options.
Warren.
Yeah, PPR.
Warren. I don't trust the Falcons committee Arthur Smith
Yeah.
approach to whatever. I couldn't tell you which Falcon is going to have a good week. Somebody will. I don't know who. It might be Algier.
It's gonna be split between Algier and Patterson again this week.
I don't know. With Caleb Huntley rotating in, I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I feel like about those running back situation. I'm not Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith appears to just be on his own planet. Because if it was up to me, strictly speaking, we would be force feeding Cordarrelle Patterson. Okay, that's what we would be doing until I was eliminated from playoff contention, and then we'll see what we have, and I'll sit Patterson down, and we'll see what we have in Algier and Huntley, the wave of the future. But I'm not. But that's my life. That's not Arthur Smith. Henderson, no. Hunt, no. I can't deal with it until eat with either of them. Frankly, it's too hit and miss. And Jalen Warren, I said this on the show last week. I want every Jalen Warren share I can get my greedy little hands on because Mike Tomlin is crazy, and he's just crazy enough to sit down his highly touted running back for Jalen Warren because Jalen Warren is really good in pass pro. And you saw what happened. They were working Warren in anyway. The ball hit the turf out of Harris's hands. Bench. Sit down. So we're in that world now where it's like, and he didn't get benched for the rest of the game, but they started going to Warren. And I tell you, the worse the Steelers get, the more they're going to start kicking the tires on Jalen Warren. So this week, if like sucky options and all, I think if you're asking me who's the most likely to get a 10, it's Jalen Warren. And he might fall in the end zone, maybe, if he got really lucky.
Yeah, I see all those. Like besides Warren, all three of those. Maybe not Algier, just because of the situation, but Henderson.
Algier's my second choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. But like Hunt, you can't
I-
do anything with.
I
Like
can't play Kareem Hunt right
depending on how deep your league, like Hunt's pretty much droppable at this point.
now.
He's
Telling
doing
people that for
nothing.
weeks.
Where do I have Kareem Hunt? See, that's the thing. He's not really droppable because running
That's
back is so
hesitating.
bad.
Like that's like in deep leagues, don't
It's
do it.
because running back is so horrible
Yeah.
that he's still in the top 30. And that has very little to do with his on-the-field performance. It has a lot more to do with the fact that running back, after you get past 20.
Oh my gosh, I thought you froze.
No. I had to count. I'm sorry, I had to count. Once you get past RB 20, it just goes off a freaking cliff into a chasm. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, I can do this for you real quick. Like, I have Devin Singletary as RB 20. Like, it's that neighborhood. You get to like 25, and it's like you're talking about Isaiah Pacheco, and it just goes like right off a cliff.
Mhm.
There's nothing at depth running back. This is why I'm saying Kareem Hunt is a flex running back still. It just that doesn't mean anything anymore.
I
Yeah.
don't-
Like
I
Not what he used to.
yeah,
Not
that
when
just
he was
doesn't mean
getting the
anything
touchdowns.
anymore. Like
I had to
Melvin
agree.
Gordon is also a flex running back. He's been terrible.
Yeah,
Like it's
but that's you're right. That's
AJ
back.
Dillon's been a flex running back, also been terrible. But that's your life right now. Daryl Henderson, flex running back, also terrible.
I'm gonna
So-
have to agree, and I'm gonna say Warren just because he's the only one that's trending upwards of those
Yeah.
three guys.
Well, Algier is trending at least.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
right.
Algier, you just can't trust
He's
the
trending like
circumstance.
it's up, but it's like this.
It's plateaued. For me, it's plateaued.
This little like incremental up. Whereas with Warren is like this, where it's like he's on like a rocket ship comparatively. So
Yeah. So the past 2 weeks against the Eagles and the Saints, 10.5 and 10.7 points for Warren. So he's averaging 10.6 fantasy points in the week
it's
8,
almost
week
like
10.
when I said who's most likely to get you a 10, I did that very, very deliberately.
So
All right, let's go back to Aaron Cantu. Pick 2: Tony, Sutton, Gabe Davis, DJ Moore.
Sutton and Gabe Davis don't get cute.
I'm
I will
getting
say
cute.
Tony.
I'm getting cute.
Tony is interesting, and I
You
know
always,
you're
you
gonna go.
always are gonna get cute.
You go ahead because I know you love your Kadarius Tony. So you go.
Well,
ahead.
and the
I'm
reason
gonna mute myself so you don't hear me screaming.
espouse your Kadarius Tony views to the crowd.
it's very simple. Hardman just went to IR, so you have Juju, who is dealing with a concussion. It's not worth it. I'd much rather use the upside against my Chargers to see Tony go off and just the way they're using him is similar to what they used Tyreek Hill with. You saw the jet sweep. It was awesome. You saw his one random dump off. He found the end zone, tiptoeing the line. I'd much rather do that specifically over Sutton because I can't trust Wilson. I'd much rather go with a better quarterback. So I would actually go Gabe Davis and Tony. Stop side-eyeing me.
I'm gonna go Sutton Davis. Just Tony's I think could have value, but we don't know that yet. Yeah, I just would go with what you know and go with the production that's there rather than Tony. You're kind of just hoping for the best and you're picking him because other people are hurt. Rather, it's Sutton. You're kind of doing that
talent.
too. Yeah, did Travis Kelce how could he leave the room? Because they didn't want him.
I doubt I can eat the amount that Jason's argument makes me want to vomit. Physically, I don't think I can eat that much.
Well, I think I know where you're going with this one too. I think you just already.
I already answered it. I answered it immediately. I said Sutton and Davis don't get cute.
I'm gonna agree
and I
with
put
you.
myself on mute.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
And then I did my mime act, which I thought was absolutely fucking hilarious.
This one I think
hilarious.
This one I think will be
well,
unanimous.
Dump me.
This one should be unanimous. Jets or Baltimore defense. If you go out and look at Baltimore's schedule, go ahead and play them for us. Set and forget Baltimore's defense.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna.
Jets scare me. I don't even know who their schedule is, but
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but
Thomas is not the only person asking this question in our Discord.
If I really trust Zach Wilson to throw the ball, I'd be very interested to see how the Jets would do down the stretch. But I don't trust him as a quarterback.
If you trusted Zach Wilson to throw the ball,
I
would
would not
be
have
inviting you to a timeshare presentation that I'm putting together because you're a mark. Okay?
I would be getting as much Garrett Wilson as possible right now, though.
Oh, I love the Garrett Wilson rest of season while it's still somewhat affordable.
Yep.
With the trade deadline on the doorstep.
Do it now.
And also for the future. Because turns out Mike Manning is right. And Steve and I were wrong about Garrett Wilson, and he actually is very talented. He's making Zach Wilson look like a professional quarterback. It's really hard to do. Ask Elijah Moore how hard that is.
Well, Thomas is a smart man and
worked out great for you, Thomas.
And also, Thomas had another question. If Gus Edwards is out, would you pick up Kenyon Drake over Zeke?
Yes.
That's an interesting question because
I don't
what does that look like in his
Yeah.
first game back? Jerry Jones can play all the games on the radio and say whatever nonsense he wants. Don't listen to Jerry Jones. He doesn't. Jerry Jones was adamant Zeke was going to play last week, and look what happened. We told you on this show it was never going to happen, and then they sat him down. Jerry Jones doesn't know anything. He's just
Man,
an old
and
man.
Pollard saw 22 carries.
He's just an old man who drinks Johnny Walker Blue on a yacht. Okay, like.
Speaking of, make sure you hit up our shop.importantnonsense.com. Get your giant, ugly Christmas sweater of a yacht in Christmas in Dallas.
Christmas in Dallas. Yes.
Beautiful.
Neil, to answer that, what kind of cup does Jerry Jones use on his yacht?
I already said it. He drinks exclusively out of a human skull. As we know, he drinks exclusively from a human skull.
If you guys couldn't get enough of Kenny and Drake questions, we have another one from M. Gonzalez.
Wait. Let's back up slightly. If by some miracle Zeke does play in this game, is anybody going to recommend starting Zeke over Kenyon Drake?
I would.
Okay.
Assuming Edwards is out, no.
I
still
don't.
go.
I honestly think Edwards plays, but if he doesn't and Zeke plays, I'm still playing Zeke over Kenny and Drake.
If you're asking me this question right now, I have Gus Edwards at 41 and Zeke at 47 in my initial opening rankings. These are subject to change. They will fluctuate throughout the week as injury reports get disseminated. But right now, if you're asking me to answer this question for you today, no, I'm playing Kenyon Drake. And then monitor the injury reports, Thomas.
So
Thomas, you're in our Discord. We'll talk to you all.
And I'm assuming if this was a question, both are healthy, Edwards or Drake.
First snaps, I go Drake. I mean, I don't. They're going to give Drake the first touch. I don't. There's no point unless he just is.
Do you actually know that? Just because it happened in the previous game doesn't mean it's going to happen this game.
I just don't. I don't trust Edwards. So yes, I'd much rather go Drake.
How did Jason and I agree on this? I don't trust Edwards at all
Because
that
backfield is ugly and scary.
One
and
good game in his career, and people want to crown him. And Kenyon Drake had a bad 5 snaps, bookended by 100-yard performances, and people are like, Drake is terrible, and I'm like, I mean, he's not great, but he's also not like that bad. So no, I don't trust any of this, to be perfectly honest, and I'm going with Drake.
He also
go pick up. Oh
no,
go
no,
pick up Pacheco.
No. God, no! Don't do any of that. Like
over Drake and Edwards, if they're both playing. Yes, I'd much rather play.
Actually, you know what? As I look at my rank, hold on. I actually do.
I actually agree with Jason.
I have to amend that statement. I actually do have to amend that statement. I wouldn't start Pacheco over Drake, but I would start.
If Edwards is out, or
just as my rankings sit as they exist, which presupposes that Edwards is either going to play limited or is not going to play at all. That's my going feeling on this coming into the week. But I would play Drake over Pacheco, but I would play Pacheco over Latavius Murray, 100%. But I'm playing a lot of guys over Latavius Murray. I'm playing Jalen Warren over Latavius Murray.
That's not saying much though.
Pacheco or Warren? Probably Warren.
Actually, it's Pacheco by a nose, but it's close. Okay. It's really close. They're right next to each other.
That's been the one I've been struggling with a lot this week.
I bet you are getting that question now that I think about it. That's probably a thing at some level on the internet that I just don't live in.
Yeah, well, it's a rough life out here, man. Internet's a scary place.
McKinnon or Pacheco?
Oh,
I'm going Pacheco.
All
just
right.
Again,
even in PPR.
Speaking of McKinnon and PPR,
I assume PPR. That's how my rankings are done, guys. I don't.
Yeah.
PPR is the new standard, and that's not new. It's been that way for the last 3+ years. That's what it is.
Speaking of McKinnon and PPR, Big Trust.
Big
PPR:
Trust,
Slayton, McKinnon, Campbell, Melvin Gordon.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm gonna go Slayton.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
also gonna go Slayton.
It's close between Campbell and Slayton.
It's either Slamble or Slamble.
Slamble.
I am all over the road today. I burned our one F-bomb on the PG-13.
You didn't finish it.
My first F-bomb. I still counts. It's my first F-bomb of the year.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's my first F-bomb.
When did you drop the
year.
F-bomb?
Oh, while
my
back.
Gosh.
While back. Stop watching the Leafs. Like I even said, "Oh God, hit the mic dump." Like I was like dump me. Like, dump me. That's my
We
first
need the
F bomb of the
delay.
year.
I was probably scurrying through Thursday.
I'm usually
questions.
good for like 1 or 2 F bombs a year, and that was one of them. And that's my first F bomb of the year. We made it all the way to week 11. It usually happens like way early, and then it'll happen like way late. I like bookend it. But yeah, Slamble would be the Slayton or Campbell would be the choices here. And of the two, I'm gonna go with Slayton just because I don't fully
More
trust the
upside.
Paris Campbell thing yet.
Well, and also a tougher defense. I mean,
I like this.
it's
comment
the
too.
Lions.
This
Khaki
is-
pants.
This is in,
Yes, he is. M. Gonzalez got it. He knows what's going on here.
So also Skyler.
I wore
This
my
is kind of a
khaki pants today.
two-parter. Flex spot PPR. Singletary, Palmer, Pickens. Wait, a lot of Josh Palmer, Pickens. My goodness.
Again,
People-
it's very popular because of the fact that they're uncertain.
Yeah,
of who's playing.
and Pickens is a very polarizing topic for whatever reason. I don't know why. Palmer is not polarizing. It's just what is the rest of the team starting? Pickens is like it splits the crowd. I don't know why. It's weird. Pickens, by the way, to answer this question.
PPR.
Full PPR.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at least one of the Chargers receivers gets back, which makes me want to lower Palmer.
Yeah.
I would be more comfortable if Williams is back and not Allen for Palmer.
Yeah, I could see that actually. That
Someone
would make a
said-
certain amount of sense.
As the resident Charger fan, that's of the
No,
options.
I agree with you on that take. That actually sounds pretty accurate because Palmer, role wise,
Yep.
Palmer and Allen kind of do the same thing, and DeAndre Carter is actually the backup for Mike Williams. I know this only matters in theory, but technically speaking, that is how they deploy.
Let me just add on thing. I think this was in regards to another question you had about Singletary. He said no Singletary versus the Cleveland run defense. Not if you're choosing between flex options with wide receivers.
Yeah, no.
That's
Get the question though. I do. You are that. I appreciate you paying attention to the real NFL because the Cleveland run
How
defense
poor.
is an atrocity.
Yeah.
The Cleveland run defense is terrible, but my problem is
Josh
that they're
Allen.
not. Well, they're not giving. That's part of it, but they're not giving Singletary the whole job. Even when you take Allen's goal line touches and junk out of that equation, Singletary's only getting like from the 30s in, and then they go to Cook in the middle of the field, and they keep saying they're going to get Hines more involved. I don't trust any of this.
I feel so bad for Nyheim Hines because he was
Just generally,
underutilized.
'cause I agree
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, because
Like,
he was
just generally
underutilized
speaking,
in
yeah.
Indy. Requested a trade, got his trade to Buffalo.
He might at least get a ring.
If he gets a ring out of it, I will say, Jordan, a ring, I will no longer feel bad for him. Okay,
Correct.
like, I will be done feeling bad. However, I do get the general point. He has not had the funnest NFL career, and it's been
No.
very unfair in certain spots.
All right, let's move on. Thomas Dodson. One more. Sorry for so many questions. Nope, that's what we're here for. It's all good.
Whole
I had
point
a
of the show.
choice. I had a choice of Rashad White or Jalen Warren and grabbed White. Was I right? I think you were, because
That's a good
J-
one. Rest
Jalen Warren,
rest of
unless some-
season.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say like at worst, Jalen Warren's splitting carries with Najee Harris, whereas Rashad White might be the starter. For the
In
rest. of the
what scenario? Like Fournette's hurt.
Fournette's hurt. I think they'll just probably just be like, trying to like see what they have Rashad, try and integrate him into the offense as the starter more and more. And I'm sure that maybe Fournette's more of a
So they're
security.
not going to the playoffs.
No, I think they're going to the playoffs. But like, what has Fournette done in the run game besides catch like dump offs from Tom Brady?
What has Rashad White done besides catch dump offs from Tom Brady and break one run where he stiff armed whoever that was last week? Like,
So, of them, Warren has a slightly better rest of season schedule.
okay.
Just slightly.
To the extent that
Yeah, because
Tell
the
you what,
Bucks,
let's get
the
a-
Bucks
let's
play
get
the 49ers, which really hurt
let's
their.
get an outside opinion here, because as you know, we are affiliated with Fantasy Pros. All of our rankings, those of us who do them, are posted on Fantasy Pros and our website. We're part of the expert consensus,
Yeah, we are.
dragging down their average
Ooh,
for
but
5+
the-
years now.
The Bucks 15, 16, and 17. Bengals, Cardinals, Panthers.
Sure.
Steelers play Panthers, Vegas, Ravens. But if you go into Week 18, the
Well,
Browns.
To answer this question as it sounds like if he picked the right choice for this previous waiver cycle, I think he did.
I mean,
just because we don't know
White
what
should have more
cycle.
volume in general.
Yeah, and Fournette's questionable coming into this game. I don't know if he's going to miss the game.
Well, he's not playing this week because they're on bye, but
that
But
is
they
true.
do get the Browns.
That is true.
No.
Okay. Well, okay. By the way, for the record, according to Fantasy Pros, rest of season rankings from Fantasy Pros, and I'm assuming PPR because that's what we do here. You did make the right call, and according to Fantasy Pros, if you go by their metrics, it ain't close. They got Rachaad White as the RB 28 for the remainder of the season, as in he'll. So, don't necessarily have to take our opinion. To be honest with you, I don't know that you can make that decision wrong.
Yeah, they're both pretty good options
So-
for you.
All right. You got a good one here. Daniel
Uh-oh.
Ward. Neil, I want your opinion. That's your first mistake, Daniel.
It
Just
is.
heard
Whoops.
Playing with
Just
fire.
heard you hating on standard leagues. I mean, where have you been for the last several years? Just how ass are standard leagues? In my defense, this league has been going on for 19 years. I've been in it for the past 8.
Oh, you have historical. Yeah,
That's fine.
I agree with you.
It's
though.
not
They
fine
suck.
actually, but I get it a little more.
You should have already made an amendment to your constitution to move.
Okay,
to
I want to address this last part. You have to auto draft your team. That just sucks to begin with. It doesn't matter if it's-
Daniel, I have so many more problems with this than the fact that it's a standard.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what are these? What is this? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
that's
like
a
this at
random
all.
number generator at that point. That's just a lottery. That has nothing to do with
With-
anything. If
Bill or
wait, is it and auto draft? Like, you can auto draft, or is it mandatory auto draft? 'Cause I've been doing this.
or
I've been playing
maybe the keepers
football.
are auto drafted.
How many years is that? 22. I've been playing fantasy football for 17 years. Sorry, I had to count. I've never heard of a mandatory auto draft team, Daniel. Or mandatory auto draft. Never. So if that exists, that's my number one problem. But if you want to know, like, what do you want? Some sort of joke about, like, how ass is it? It's a Cleveland size ass. It's an incredibly large ass that has got like pock marks and dimples on it. As our fearless leader Steve will point out, they shouldn't call it standard. They should call it no point. But like it's standard is a pointless holdover from a bygone era, from back when they used to play football with leather helmets, and it's pointless. It is not a true representation of the modern NFL. It's terrible.
Daniel has there's more. Did I mention that my dad is also in the league and he stopped doing fantasy in 2018? He's had 2 teams in this league for 1 year, for 4 years.
You need to find a new league, Daniel. We will help you find a new league if you need. We will find you a better league.
I think this is the cherry
Oh wait,
on top.
I see now.
This is the cherry on top. It's for money, and it's a free 220 every
Yeah,
year.
I've won that league the past 5 out of 6 years. For 220, I'd keep playing in it too. I would literally do the same thing because that's just. I agree with you. It's free $220. So you could make I could make all the crappy solipsistic arguments you want. I would do the same thing. I would collect my free $220 every year, and treat myself to dinner, or whatever you want. Like, but yeah, as a general rule, standard leagues are pointless. They're like the appendix of fantasy football. They served a purpose at one point in our evolution, but they are now redundant, which is why they just get removed. Which is why every major platform has moved to PPR, and at a minimum, everybody should be playing half point. Because the real NFL doesn't work the way that it used to when standard was popular and relevant. The real NFL has moved into a pass catching league, so you adjust with the times. That being said, I would absolutely collect my $220 and run those 2 teams if nobody's going to stop me. Like, that's That's just free money. It's free real estate, Daniel.
I want him to, if he can, kind of explain the auto draft thing. See if that's actually what we think it is, because that's
Yeah, we'll let
insane.
him do that. And let's go
Um,
back to Big Trust real quick.
Yeah, Big Trust has another question. Since we
I'm
mentioned,
glad you like the appendix, by the way, Daniel, because that's actually how it's like the tonsils. It's horrible.
Since you guys mentioned Warren potentially getting increased workload, he is getting increased workload. Najee, McKinnon, or Gordon is Najee Harris. Like even with this,
It's still Najee.
It's still Najee. Najee had a great game. Well, he got 20 carries.
Well, it's
last game.
bad. It's Najee is like going the wrong direction, but it ain't that bad.
No, it's
that we're going down to McKinnon, who's in a timeshare, and Gordon, who's in a timeshare and looks terrible.
Well, McKinnon looks good when he gets the ball.
That's why I didn't add that caveat.
Even in
stopped it.
PPR.
That's why I didn't add that. I just said he's in a timeshare and just left it there.
Yeah. But even in a PPR where Najee got no targets and it seems like Warren is officially the pass catching back, I'm still going Najee because I don't trust the McKinnon or the Gordon production on a weekly basis. That's just me.
I'm playing Najee.
It's still Harris. Yeah,
I think that's kind of.
It's not that bad yet.
No. And I think, unless let me just go through. I think that's it.
I think we're good. Go ahead and double check that. But while you're doing that, we're gonna go over to Jason. For Jason Draven, starts of the week. We're gonna start with quarterback.
It's brutal out there.
Jason, who's your quarterback start of the week?
You're not gonna like it. I don't like it. It makes
I've
me
already
feel
read
dirty.
it. I already know what it is.
I forget who it was.
It's Kenny Pickett. I realize it. I mean, everybody wants to play Russell Wilson. I just can't do it. I mean, I get it. He had a great game, but man, Pickett's going against the Bengals. It feels similar to the Saints game. He's gonna have to put up yards. That was even a tougher defense, in my opinion. Saints are pretty solid, but last week Pickett was top 12. Blew my mind. Granted, it was based on the fact that he runs, but if they're really allowing him to run now, I think that really opens up the game and would make him a very big asset. So you know how I love my running quarterbacks. But the fact that he is going to be using Johnson and Pickens, I feel like this game he's going to have to throw, and it's a safe play for me. Let's go!
We knew it. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. We talked down. Well, I mean, if you didn't listen to us, then you profited. So
did that?
Yeah, it happened. That's why I tilted.
It hasn't even updated on any of my screens over
here. Here's
Daniel.
It was
only 14-yard touchdown.
Daniel has updated us. Okay, so with the auto draft, it is mandatory auto draft every year. Wow. You may keep 2 players from the previous year at no cost. You may prioritize the draft any way you want.
If I wasn't getting $220 for free every year out of that arrangement, I would drop that like a bad habit.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
That Treylon Burks has already got a 5. Oh, it's 1 catch for 43 yards. Sweet. Sick. Jason, we heard you start of the week. Who's your sit of the week?
Well, he's actually playing right now. So it kind of hurts, but it's Aaron Rodgers for me. I mean, this game just is not something that I want to be a part of. Like I said, I expect big games from Lazard and Watson because of the fact that I don't even expect him to score. So Watson actually scoring helps his number even better. But I don't expect Rodgers to go over 250 yards or 2 touchdowns. In that, it's not something you want. I don't see him getting the 16, 17 points that would be required for him to be in QB1 this week.
Oh.
All right.
You and us both, Ab Gonzalez. Well, maybe not for Jason, but
I'm not worried about it. He caught a touchdown.
You know what? Every time I do this now, I'm just going to throw everything out the window for Thursday night because we seem to be wrong every time.
That's why I tell you I don't normally start. Like I avoid starting things on Thursday night because it's like fantasy football can be kind of a crapshoot sometimes anyway, and you add Thursday night games into it. So much worse.
And just to finish up with Daniel Ward's thing, I can't put his message up because he swears in it, but
yeah, I was gonna say please don't put that. Actually,
he says sometimes you get screwed.
Sanitize it.
You get screwed if you draft an injured player. There's only one IR spot, and you can only use it if the player is actually on IR, so not out or whatever. So yeah, that just sounds like
7:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday during the season.
I do waiver on Monday.
Yeah, and then we also have a show on Monday where you can get waiver picks from Jason. And we also have some
Halftime.
sports betting stuff coming up here as soon as we're done during halftime of Thursday Night Football. Hang out for our betting team. They have their own stream, and they'll help you pick props. I think Mason is like 85% against the spread or something like that this year. Some dumb number. I love playing their cards because it's free real estate. It's free money. And we love having you, Big Trust. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
There is one other reason I put this up now, real quick, and I'll remind everyone again.
Oh,
but
next week.
Next week is Thanksgiving here in the United States. So this show, I know I just said the show is on Thursdays. It is,
except
for next week when it's on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern. We have to do that to accommodate the Thursday Night Football schedule for the holiday. So, for everyone
there's
still
no
here,
way we're waking up at 10:30 to try and answer questions.
you all wouldn't be listening to us anyway. You'd be driving to grandma's, and you'd be dealing with your family. We've tried this. Steve and I have been doing this for a long time. We know Thanksgiving that day is a nightmare. And then Friday, everybody's preoccupied with Black Friday. And nobody's paying attention.
And recovery.
And and they're hungover.
Well,
so let's just call it what it is.
I've always said, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Thanksgiving happened in October, so.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah. Because he's Canadian, it doesn't matter.
We do have a Canadian. So yeah, he's already had his Thanksgiving. The rest of us will be having Thanksgiving next Thursday. So this show will be on Wednesday at its normal time, and we will be doing whatever you want. Ask away. We'll be doing the Thursday questions and the Sunday questions. We're just going to take it all in one big gulp. We're just going to try and knock it. I got to be really careful that I don't end up in a meme by doing what I just did. You can screenshot that and really watch what I just did there.
I mean, we already
the sports betting one, Big Trust, is literally going to be happening here at halftime during the Thursday night game. So it's not exactly
and tomorrow.
Time. And tomorrow, Friday.
They go through every game, though, right?
They go through every game tomorrow, yes. So hang out for the halftime. During halftime of Thursday Night Football is our one gambling show. And then tomorrow, every Friday, I believe that's I think that's what?
I don't know.
Eastern?
That's my issue. I think, but again, I don't want to say it and be wrong. So,
well, Big Trust,
you should
I'll
do.
Tell you. Well, hang out for the halftime show, and they'll tell you. They'll straight up tell you here in about 30 minutes because we're just starting the second quarter.
Yeah.
So,
but what you should do is make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. That way, you automatically see us when it pops up.
And join the Discord.
Yes,
that too. I'm so bad at promoting.
I got you. That's the whole reason I'm here. My one job. Don't mess it up. Promote every time you can.
Titans touchdown. I'm just derailing the show.
Dontrell
Hilliard. Yeah. How do you like that one?
I'm surprised you got no Hilliard questions. That's what I was expecting.
Yes. You should have your handcuffs by now.
You should.
Side note.
Hey, Jason, while we wait for more questions to come in, who's your start of the week at running back?
Man, we kind of touched on it, but it's Brian Robinson. Talk about a great matchup. I know. Makes you feel dirty, doesn't it? But
I need to shower.
He gets the Texans. I mean, that's really all I should have to say. But in a game that they should very easily win because Heineke's been rolling like crazy, I don't understand how they would lose this game, except for it would be totally a Commanders thing to do. I expect them to run a lot because they should be up. Robinson's been the main guy when they are winning, which has been very rare. But when he is seeing a lot of carries. I expect him to find the end zone. Again, Gibson has been used, but again, it's more third down, and I just expect Robinson to have a larger workload based on the fact that they are playing the Texans, who are literally the worst against the run. Haha, you got it. The Chargers actually are better now than the Texans at the run game. Woohoo! Defensively, sorry.
All right.
So, I'm excited. The fact that we've moved up 2 spots from 32 to 30.
Small victories.
Let's go. Yep.
Hey, Jason, who is your sit of the week, and how is it not Alvin Kamara?
Why is it Alvin Kamara?
Why is it not Alvin Kamara?
Well,
because he sucks.
Alvin Kamara is still ranked as a top 10 play. I know how Jason compiles these. He goes through the top whatever number, X number, and then looks for an outlier. Well, I already spoiled it. It's
No,
not
not
Alvin
Aaron
Kamara somehow.
No.
He's got it.
Well, it's very easily. It's because it's Aaron Jones playing right now.
Wrong.
Don't.
Wrong.
That's why.
You're wrong.
You know my hate for Aaron Jones. I don't think
It's
that
not
they're going.
rational. I'm
Yeah, I
aware
know.
of it, but it's not
Correct.
rational. Like,
Correct. But, he has 3 games where he scored less than 10 fantasy points against the Bucks, 4th toughest, Jets the 8th, and now, well, and shockingly, the Lions, who are 27th. But even then, this is definitely a good run defense. I expect him to struggle. They aren't going to be using him in the pass game because they have Lazard there and they have Cobb back. Those are things that took into account. I just don't see them using him as much, and I don't trust it. I would be surprised if he breaks 10 fantasy points.
Okay. Okay.
Already so let's just cover that real quick. Let's just.
It's not that I don't disagree with you. That
But you
it might
do.
no that might. But this line right here, and if you could see me highlight it.
I don't know where you are.
With Cobb returning.
Returning.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
You're worried about Randall Cobb returning, so you're not going to play Aaron Jones.
Yes. The short area target.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like you guys-
Treylon Burks 2 for 42. That's not terrible.
So he had a yard
lost a
catch for a yard.
No, yeah, he
Gained a
lost a
catch.
yard. He lost a yard actually. Yeah.
That sounds about
That's
right.
6.2 points though. I mean, like we've been waiting for the Treylon. Many of us, I should say, not everyone. Many of us have been waiting for the trail. That's an
Yes.
understatement.
We don't watch it. That's why
also,
we're here.
Oh no, I do watch it, but I watch it without sound, and it's like
Yeah,
I
same here.
can't. I can't. Also, Kirk Herbstreit. I don't know what's wrong, man. But
It's weird. It's just hearing him not.
oh, I meant like hair and makeup. He needs to fire whoever's
I
doing his
thought you
hair
meant
and
him
makeup. He
doing
looks like a
NFL
clown.
games, not
They've got the
college.
pancake on him so hard. He looks like he's melting under the lights. He looks like a mime.
Big Trust
like,
also asked. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
That is how you get access to our
It's
Discord.
only $1 a month.
It is
I'm just
$1
saying.
per month for the minimum access level. It goes up to $5. I know. We're
The
highway
three-
robbery of $5
but-
a month.
You want to sneak in and get the betting picks. It's $3.
Yeah, if you just want the betting picks, it is $3.
And you'll make your money back.
And you'll get Discord. You'll pretty much guarantee to get your money back.
Easily.
I can't
Tenfold.
legally guarantee that for you, by the way, which is why I said pretty much. So I want to be very clear since
Clear.
this is being recorded. Legally, I cannot guarantee that, but it's pretty much a slam dunk. You got to win like one prop. All right, let's move on from the Aaron Jones. It doesn't matter anyway because it's already happening. So we'll table that discussion for another day because there's no way we're ever going to be done having that conversation because it just keeps. Why you expect consistency from Aaron Jones? Like it's not so much the idea that I know you hate Aaron Jones. It's the fact that I know you hate Aaron Jones because you view him as inconsistent. And I'm like, what planet do you live on that you were expecting consistent return from Aaron? That has never been what Aaron Jones does. It's a 40 and it's a 3. It's a 40 and it's a 3. And that's like 3 years of data of points I have on this. Like,
I know. It's just frustrating, and I think this is going to be one of its lower scoring games. That's why the whole reason we
that's what I'm
did
saying.
it.
He's already up to 3, which is why I'm saying I wasn't worried about it because they're so bad that it's like at some point he's just going to start catching dump offs. He's only projected
hope.
for like a 14, which is the other reason why it's like, do you factor in like, this is a real question. Do you factor in ability to hit projection into your decisions?
Yes and no. I think I base it on matchups primarily,
Because
and
his
then I look at
projection was 14. And that's why I'm like, that's pretty
That's right there.
attainable. That's
Yeah.
pretty attainable, man. Like 14 ain't much in PPR.
also it's based on the outlier. And let's see if I pull up the ECR here. We have Fantasy Pros. There it is.
He was number 9 in PPR. I already know this cold. I don't need to look it up. Like,
Well, I was for the ECR though. That's just it. Like that's why I was.
it's the weekly rankings. So yes,
Okay, and I was just like, man, that seems awfully high.
Alvin Kamara
So-
was rated higher and has been objectively worse. This is why I was like,
That's why it seemed like an easy one for me. Is just the fact that he was like, okay, I'm not going to pick somebody who's. Granted, Alvin Kamara has been frustrating, but it's a matchup thing.
hey Jason, who Who's your wide receiver start of the week?
I kind of been answering it all night, and it's Ferris Campbell. It's the toughest matchup for him for sure. Over the past 4 weeks, though, he's been wide receiver 14 or 15. It's hard to compete, even with Sam Ehlinger. Like, that's the impressive part of it. With Sam Ehlinger, even over that time span, he's still been wide receiver 15. So, granted, those are 2 very bad games with Ehlinger, but again, it's the fact they are using him so much in dump off plays. He isn't doing it to the running back because Hines is gone. So now with Ryan back, I expect Campbell to still be the short area target and see all those touches, even in a tougher matchup. He's still going to, I expect him to see at least 10 targets. So, and that moves him into a start for me.
Hey, Neil, remember the start of the season when Jason kept pushing Alec Pierce, and now
Yeah, Jason likes every Colt wide receiver that's not
That's
named
not-
Michael Pittman.
No, that's because Pittman, we know, is going to be a solid piece. And then when we realize that,
I have
They
so
don't have
much
a-
editing that I have to do to make the super cut of our arguments from a couple weeks ago, and then just to tack that into what you just said. Do we? We know that now, huh? So all those arguments you and I had back in like week 5 that I have
Campbell or Pat
evidence
Pierce?
of. You saying that Pierce is the one you want and that Pittman is relegated to nothing. Don't make me go edit this.
Oh,
he
yeah,
did.
that's
You
fine.
know what? I will admit, Jason did say this was when Ehlinger was named the starter, that it was going to be better for Campbell and it would be worse for Pierce.
All right,
And
fair
obviously
enough.
But that's out the
And
window
now it's
now,
going-
so it doesn't matter.
And now it's
so.
back to Campbell because they don't have an.
I
offensive
I
line.
just don't think he's gonna. The Eagles have 2 unreal cover corners. I don't think that Pittman getting the majority or getting the attention is gonna really matter too much. I'm voiding play. I'm starting in one league because I have to, but but that's just me because I'm playing in a very very deep league and I have to. And buys
Well,
are
We'll move into the sit because this is the important part of this. Campbell is outside of the top 36 currently. You know who is in the top 36? Allen Robinson. Okay.
I mean, I get
don't-
why. I don't necessarily
I
agree with it.
do.
I understand. Like,
I do. And so I understand why people have done that, but it's just so infuriating that Campbell, who is seeing the 10 targets a game or whatever, it's been ridiculous. And yet they're going to say, oh, now that Cup's out, Allen Robinson is going to be the guy. No, that is not how it's going to work. If anything,
for the
it's
record,
gonna
Allen
be-
Robinson is not in the top 36 anymore.
Okay, thank God. But as of before tonight happened,
How
when
is
I
it
was looking-
not DPJ, who's also not in the top 36 for you?
He's in
Get
the
some
top 36, right?
consistency, man.
just poking holes in this segment.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm
he's in-
derailing
he's
the
in my
show
top
because
36.
I'm derailing the show just because it's fun.
Except right now.
As I
I
frequently
hate
say
that
to people,
I hate that I can't look up.
we have a
DPJ.
card game that we play on the side, and as I frequently say, I'm going to be a problem on purpose. Like,
That's true.
like-
I think part of that was just because of the fact that I didn't take into account that they had moved it yet when I did this
probably-
write up.
that's probably-
You know, I still would. I'm not
Oh, yeah,
faulty
I
for
still
that
like you.
because like people may think that since Cooper Cup's out, that Allen Robinson's going to be this, is going to
No, it's a pretty
miraculously.
commonly held belief.
Yeah.
If you go on
So-
Twitter, like I don't
Again-
necessarily agree with it. I can't
I can see
go
where
through
they're
your
getting it.
go through your rationale, Jason. Go. Let's not derail him anymore.
Okay, so like I said, I think Higbee will be a big contributor of Cup going out because he has been a more consistent target for Stafford. And even then, I mean, Ben Skoranek, when Cup went out, saw more targets. Jefferson also came in and saw more targets. All of them are where the targets went instead of to Allen Robinson. So, granted, that was a very rare situation. I do think that just the fact that the Saints are actually not a bad defense. They aren't the greatest, but they aren't a bad defense, especially if Lattimore comes back. I'm even more nervous.
Lattimore is not playing in this game. Lattimore has 2 broken ribs and a lacerated kidney. That is not happening.
Well, they keep saying he's coming back every week, and it's annoying, but
He has 2 broken ribs and a lacerated kidney per today's report. You really think he's going to turn that around for Sunday? Because I don't.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. It's been what, 4 weeks?
I
It's been
don't
4 or
care.
5 weeks.
I don't
But even-
care. He
but
has
even
2
without
broken
them-
ribs and a lacerated kidney.
But
like,
even without them, they've been
it makes
playing
no
well
difference
enough.
how long.
Yeah.
He's not Jason Witten. Okay, like the only guy I've ever seen attempt something like this, who played with a bleeding kidney, and probably took 3 years off his life in the process. Like, No one does that. I can't say that I completely disagree with you outside of the Lattimore thing. That's my one issue with that whole take. But you didn't know that when you wrote this. Clearly, you didn't know it until I said something about it.
Yeah, I was like,
But
last time I checked, it was still the potential.
But no, I'm not. I don't 100% disagree because, frankly, I don't want to play any of it. I don't think anybody knows anything. That's my argument here. Nobody knows anything about what the Rams are going to do. I would argue that the Rams functionally probably don't know what they're going to do. Like, they don't know anything. And frankly, at this point, stick a fork in the Rams season, folks.
Yeah, the only person I'm willing to play for the Rams is Higbee.
And even that is only because tight end is such an unmitigated disaster that I probably would agree with you.
Oh, Neil, you have a question from the audience.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. So Kamara has been brutal in the background. We can go through this here. So let's take the week 8 42 in PPR out of this, okay? Because that's one game. And let's go through Alvin Kamara's season for a moment. So Alvin Kamara, outside of that 42, has had double-digit fantasy points in 3 games, and that's with him missing 2 games. And then recent production, he's got a 9 and a 7.5. Not only is Alvin Kamara just getting tanked out by Andy Dalton, everybody's getting tanked out by Andy Dalton right now. We're looking at bad,
including Olave, which is extremely annoying.
Olave, although I will say the Steelers were headhunting in that game last week because it's the Steelers and that's what they do. Fight me. I'll die on that hill. The Steelers play dirty pool and have my whole life. They love to hit people in the head and then pretend like, what? I didn't do nothing. They did it to Olave in that game, which is why I bring that up, actually. But everybody is getting tanked out by Andy Dalton right now. Andy Dalton can't move the ball through the air, so they're stacking the box against Kamara. Kamara also looking like that usage that he's starting to show signs of wear and tear. So you're in a situation now where nothing is working for the Saints. It's cratering out everyone. But look at the last 2 weeks. Because they're losing also, they can't get any kind of running game going.
Which should also change this week. I mean, that's the other flip of that
I would have preferred Jameis 10,000% at every level. Jameis with a broken back, I would have preferred. But I've been very clear on Andy Dalton. I don't like Andy Dalton. I don't think Andy Dalton is a professional quarterback at this stage in his career. He should be playing in the XFL. Like, and if you're starting, I won't go there with you. But if you're starting, but if you're starting Andy Dalton, that to me is tantamount to you're openly tanking. And by the way, can you tell I'm a Bears fan? Like, I'm a little bitter, like now, but I've had these opinions long before he ever came to the Bears and looked like doo-doo. Like, Andy Dalton is nobody's answer to anything except for who's like the 35th starting quarterback in the NFL. He's a fine backup, but if you're telling me you're going to roll Andy Dalton out, I would 100% prefer Jameis because Jameis is going to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, but Andy Dalton's going to throw 13 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. That's Andy Dalton. He's terrible. They used to call him the Red Rifle, and I've been referring to him for years as the beige water pistol. He's terrible. Like, I'm tired of having to have this argument, and he's cratering everyone. So the lack of Andy Dalton being able to push the ball down the field has resulted in the last 2 weeks, Alvin Kamara, we would all acknowledge Alvin Kamara is good, right?
Yeah. 2
weeks ago, 9 rushing attempts for Alvin Kamara. Last week, 8 rushing attempts for Alvin Kamara. It's game script. Like, they are killing, and he's only getting 4 targets. And it's because they're still insisting on rotating Taysom Hill in. None of this is working. None of it works right now. So for me, I am not interested in Alvin Kamara rest of the season. A lot of people are like, oh, buy low at the trade deadline. Nope. I'm staying away from this with a 20-foot clown pole. If you want buy lows, I got buy lows for you all day, Dr. Squatch. That ain't one of them. Not this year. Yes.
100%.
100%. Anything would be preferable. Anything would be preferable to what they're doing now. With the maybe Taysom Hill starting again might be worse. But then, even then, How much
opens up the
worse
running
can it
lanes.
get? So like he had the 42, which you can hang your hat on, and he had 3 good games prior to that. But that was before the bottom fell out of the Saints offense. And I just don't see like, yeah, it's
The
an
next 3
interesting
games are rough.
well, it's an interesting matchup against the Rams because the Rams look like crap this week.
Correct.
So you might get lucky this week. But if I'm you, I'm praying that they light up the Rams so I can ship Alvin Kamara for pennies on the dollar at the deadline.
The only thing is playoffs. That would be the only reason
Well, he's
you
got
like
the bye in week 14. Are you going to the playoffs with Alvin Kamara on your team?
it. Oh.
Are you?
Falcons, Cleveland, Eagles.
Okay.
I mean, that would be
2
the
of
only
those
reason.
matchups I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Not thrilled about the Eagles per
Yeah,
se.
but and also the week 14. Like,
bye.
not that he's helping you
Week
anyways,
14
but-
bye hurts you here.
Yeah.
So Dr. Squad, I'm telling you, Alvin Kamara is on my sell list this year. And you're talking to a guy who rostered Alvin Kamara for like 9 consecutive years in a dynasty or in a keeper league and just was willing to just keep paying first round picks. But I got rid of him this year because I was afraid of this because they won't commit. They won't commit to Winston. And Winston is light years more productive than Andy Dalton. And he got to be really hurt. Okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's fine.
By the way, I stand by I'm going to try and trade Alvin Kamara. I'm praying to God this week that he lights up the Rams so I could try and snake oil something.
But that's just it. Is for who? Like the
we can
best.
do that.
One
We
of
can
the
do that.
best.
You wanna do that real quick?
Running back playoffs right now is Derrick Henry, and there's no way you're getting like you can't. You have to add.
No.
2
That's not
pieces.
happening. That's not happening. You're not going to get. You're not going. It's going to be really hard to trade positionally anyway. So you'd have to be committed to the idea that you're going to start Chubb and Kenneth Walker. And then I'm looking at like it's going to be really hard to trade unless you want to do a 2-for-1. To get a lesser
the way
running
you
back.
probably.
You could get a 2-for-1 done. But if you want to go player for player, DeAndre Hopkins with Hollywood Brown coming back would be what I would start with. That'd be my first start. That'd be my first choice. Within that, then I would go to. I don't know that I would do it for Michael Pittman. That's probably not happening.
Let's see.
I would absolutely be trying to get Austin Eckler.
I did that yesterday.
Oh, I would do that right now. Christian Watson and Kamara for Eckler, straight up. I'm doing that right now. And I'm gonna cackle while I do it. Like I'm gonna be laughing my butt off in the background. That's after I drop the F-bomb. Now I'm like hyper censoring myself. And I would also do it for CMC.
Yep.
I would do it for both. You don't need Christian Watson,
Correct.
really. Like your team is good enough that if you're probably don't need that.
Watson right now, you're wanting him to have another big game.
Yeah, you'd
If
love
he-
it if he scored another touchdown, so you could
Yep.
get max volume here or max.
Even
value,
at this
excuse
point,
me.
if he can go over 100 yards, or honestly at this point, if he can go over 60 yards,
Yeah, he doesn't
sell
need to
him.
go over 100 yards. He needs to just exist.
yeah. So you put those two together. Yeah, Eckler is a great one. CMC is probably also a good one. I mean Taylor, you can probably get cheaper.
Treylon Burks up to 4 for 4 for 53. It's happening.
We expected him to
slowly
get
happening.
it.
Oh,
And that was,
look, right at the
Wow.
buzzer.
hey Polo.
Oh, Polo shows up basically for the last. Polo, get your questions in. We got like 10 minutes of show here, max. Like, get all your questions in, Polo. While we wait for. By the way, I think we've answered Dr. Squatch's question, and we've provided him with several different options for.
And a great reason to join the Discord.
Yeah, for potential trades. So, Dr. Squatch, if you have any further questions on that, get them in before we go. Like this one, actually.
T-Flex, trying to fill the squad. Made sure. Gave up Montgomery and Lenny. I'm okay
Yeah,
with
good-
that.
good
Oh,
trade.
it's same. Okay, yeah. Try for that. Try for
A 2
either
for
of
1.
those. Yeah, try for the 2-for-1. See if you can get that done. But yeah, I would absolutely, especially if the team who has Eckler is evaluating Eckler that way. That's 100% what I'm doing. And if you want to have this conversation in long form and not just here, join our Discord because we'll talk. We have a whole trade advice channel where we have these conversations on it, all day. basically. And it's not just the three
Pretty
of us.
much.
There's other people in there too, so you get more opinions than just the three of us. But while we wait for Polo and make sure Polo gets whatever he wants answered real quick, hey Jason, do the tight end start sit of the week. It's the last one. We got one left.
Yeah, and I really wish I knew if he was playing because I would love Gerald Everett to be my guy this week and be the one that I'm easily playing. But since we aren't sure if he's going or not,
After all that crap you talked about Donald Parham, he's gonna go recommend Gerald Everett. It's like
Well,
it's like he thinks I have no
still dealing with
accumulated
injury.
memory.
Still dealing with injury.
It's like you think I have no accumulated memory whatsoever of previous
So-
picks. Like,
Well, no, that's just it. When he comes back or Allen comes back, the part of his success has been due to the fact that I still don't think Allen's coming back. So Everett's still going to be the one who sees the targets. He had a rough week last week. Not
you're not worried
ideal.
about the groin, huh?
Oh, my groin. Yeah, no. I'm nervous. Like I said, that's why I said if he plays, that would be the person I'm more nervous about. But
All right, well, do your alternative in case he doesn't
Okay.
play. Then put the alternative on there.
it's Juwan Johnson, and I know you hate it.
I don't hate Juwan Johnson. I don't hate Juwan Johnson. I hate
fantasy
how high
tight ends.
you're willing to go with Juwan Johnson. But if you want to tell me that you got, okay, let's be clear about something. The way this works is you're picking a player outside the top 12 to put in the top 12. I don't necessarily hate the idea that Juwan Johnson could be inside the top 12. What I hate is when you sit here and say Juwan Johnson was my number 4 tight end this week, and I'm like, the bath salts problem in Kansas City is just running rampant. Like, just they got bath salts in the water. Holy crap! Like my God! Like that's my issue. Okay, if you really want to like nail it down, but please,
Okay,
I
that's fair.
actually don't hate Juwan Johnson the way that you've tried to slander me here. And go ahead, but talk about Juwan Johnson.
So the reason I like him, he's playing over 60% of snaps, absolutely wonderful. Has the 7th best matchup for tight end, and like I said, I'm excited for him because Andy Dalton continues to find him since week
It's not
6.
a volume play, folks. It's definitely not a volume play.
Since week 6, he's tight end 3. He's averaging 11.9 fantasy points per game, and I know it's ugly, but he's finding the end zone. That's really what it's coming down to. He is finding the end zone because that's
the argument.
They're covering up Olave, and Kamara is being stopped at the line. So you're looking for somebody. Juwan Johnson's a big body, talented receiver to catch the ball. So
All right.
I'm excited for him.
All right, and then let's do the sit of the week real quick.
Because you love it. It's Foster Moreau. This team is so ugly, man. I can't trust it.
I can't disagree with you on not wanting to play Foster Moreau. I can't.
Surprisingly, he is tight end 12 since week 7.
He still is. No, it's still there. I just checked. He's still there.
But
I would absolutely play Juwan Johnson over Foster Moreau, by the way. Like that's
Oh yeah, that's like not even a question.
100% doing that. It's funny because my actual, if you want a freebie, mine would actually be Hayden Hurst coming back off the bye.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, you still got no Chase. Every time one of their big 2 receivers doesn't play, Hurst gets more involved. I wish he was more involved in the red zone, but he actually gets like between 6 to 8 targets. And as for folks who are in our Discord, Jason and I had this argument very loudly. Anybody who's averaging that level of targets is beyond flex.
Correct.
So, and when I proved it, GD it, I proved it. Like I had to prove it. Dr. Squatch, absolutely, that is included in the dollar. Yeah, 100% in the dollar with that one.
And please make sure your name is Dr. Squatch because we want to.
Yeah, if you're gonna join, please make sure that we'll change your name if we have to make sure we know that you're Dr. Squatch. We'll work that out with you.
Much like Thomas, much like Daniel, much like.
For example, like even Aaron Cantu, who's in here all the time, he's a Cantu on there. The first time I was talking to him, I'm like, who is this guy? And then I realized, like, oh, it's Aaron. Oh, okay. Like, all right, Polo. Here we go.
Swift. Good. What the? Okay.
Garrett Wilson's.
I'm going to say right away.
Actually, I have this exact team, Polo. I literally have a team that has both Lions running backs and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, Swift, and Williams.
I think you gave him too much. I personally do, especially with Fields.
Yeah, I think you overpaid here, unfortunately.
I do love Wilson though.
You gave up the whole Lions.
He traded Wilson.
I know. That's why I was like, that's my really the tipping point. I'm okay because Fields has a rough playoff schedule and it's quarterback. But not. Yeah, I'd prefer somebody else than Marshall.
I get the theory though here. You got CMC.
Yeah.
and you got Mitchell to go with it just in case. It's smart.
Yeah. You're playing
Like,
both of them probably.
Smart. Well, you were probably playing both the Lions. This is where I get the deal. For me, the deal breaker isn't actually Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson for DK Metcalf is like not that different. It's
Except
annoying.
for the playoff schedule.
Yeah, but it's annoying that Metcalf has the bye this week. But I don't know his record, so right, like it might not matter to you. Wilson, he's had 2 good games, but he still has that Zach Wilson stink on him. So it's like you got to be willing to like take a big old gulp. And if you've been rostering Wilson all season, like I have, but boy, it has not been a lot of fun. Okay, like there has been times where you really are getting frustrated because it's not even at Wilson. You're just watching the other Wilson, Zach Wilson, look like he's never seen a football before, and it's like it's really frustrating. So for me, it's like, okay, the Metcalf for Wilson thing is kind of a push. So where I think you're upgrading is it running back. You're getting better running backs. Weirdly for me, the swing is actually Fields for Marshall.
Yeah.
I don't know if, but let's add context. His QB.
I still think you
That's-
probably pick up more.
Yeah. I would have preferred almost anybody outside of Marshall.
Like Marshall just seems like a throw-in at that point.
Marshall is a
Correct.
throw-in at that point.
That's exactly what it was.
It's literally
So,
what it is.
And I mean,
I-
like you like Fields alone, you could have sold.
Polo,
so
are
high
you part
for
of our Discord?
No, I don't think he is.
Come on, man. This
I
is
think we've
why
had
you
this
won.
conversation with Polo once before. I've offered to help him set this up. We will, and I'm serious about that. Steve and I will help you get set up with Discord if you need it.
Yeah. Even if it's a video call, we'll whatever we have to do, we will get you set up. And
Yeah. Can't promise you a video call on a weeknight, but we'll figure it out. We'll schedule something and get that done. My general thing with this trade. Polo is in the Discord. What's your Discord handle?
what? No, he's
I
not.
could have sworn who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking to Jose. That's who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Superfan Jose. That's what it was. That's what it was. Polo is in there. Polo, what's your handle? You
It's
gotta,
not
like,
under P.
No, we gotta give him like a
Oh
flair.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, we gotta give him like a special flair or something. We can do that. We can give
I'm
him
new
like,
to
a
the
special
Discord.
flair.
Oh, in November. He
Yeah,
just
that's
joined.
probably why.
Okay.
We gotta
that
give
makes
him
more
like a special flair or something so I know.
Way to join
and
the Discord, Polo.
Well, also, and thank you, Dr. Squatch. We'll be on there soon. Real quick, because we gotta wrap up here, folks. We gotta start getting out of here and let Mason get set up. Right? Yeah. We promised him. We got to get out of here though. In a second. So I do want to answer Polo's question here, just definitively. I get the deal, but this conversation was started and then we got distracted by people pinging us. I agree. I think you could have actually sold Justin Fields, like break that out separately,
yeah,
and just trade Justin Fields on his own is what I would have been wanting to do. And then honestly, I wouldn't even have a problem with the deal. And he could, and they could have Terrence Marshall. I don't want Terrence Marshall, but if the deal was CMC, Metcalf, Mitchell for the Lions and Garrett Wilson, I think you would have won that. I get why that's the thing. I get why the other person in that deal probably doesn't want to do that. So you're getting into a position where you're being asked to put Fields in as a sweetener to make that happen. And it's too much sweetener for me. I would have wanted a different player. I'm sure there's somebody else on your roster that wasn't Justin Fields. that I would have been
Henderson.
much more comfortable. No, that's Jose too. That's also
That's
Jose.
right. Dang it.
See, now you're doing it. It's also Jose, who's not here tonight, by the way. And we gotta get a missing persons alert out for Jose tonight because he's not here.
Oh,
Miss you, Jose. But Polo, yeah. In the future, bring that up in our trade advice thing because we would have talked you through that. I don't know that I personally would have done that deal. However,
we see why you did it.
I get why you did it, and I don't super hate it. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, you're crazy. You way overpaid." Blah, 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 blah. No. No, I get it.
Yeah,
As somebody who's been rostering both DeAndre Swift and Garrett Wilson and Jamal Williams on the same team, by the way,
And you're starting them all, aren't you?
Yes, I'm 6-4. I'm 6-4. But it's maddening. It's maddening. It makes you want to throttle people because DeAndre Swift is like he gets 8 touches a game and he gets 10 points out of it, but it's like you don't want to start that.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Right. It's maddening. I get why you did it, man. I totally understand the frustration level with that team where it's like, I want out of this business. And if I have to get rid of Justin Fields to make that happen for myself, by gum, I'm doing it. And it's like, I get it. I totally understand. I just think if you want my actual opinion, I just think you slightly overpaid.
Also, that's a lot of Lions.
Well, that's part of why it's like, I get why you want to get out of the Lions business. The Lions business has been an unfun business the last couple weeks. They've looked like doo-doo, I believe is the technical term.
Well,
like
as a guy who only owns Williams out of those players.
Rosters.
Fair. But that I've been rolling with him every week. And I've been completely happy.
I've been doing it too, but you can weather that. But if you're trying to also deal with Swift being hurt and Jamal Williams has been great, but then you're also dealing with St. Brown being hurt. Jamal Williams is actually, like, no joke. We're going to wrap up here in a second, but no joke. Jamal Williams is actually on my short list of candidates for fantasy MVP. Because bang for buck, I defy you to find me a better value. Jamal Williams is a top 20 running back this year. His ADP was the 12th round. What's a better deal? Because you could make the argument, oh, Justin Jefferson. Sure, but everybody knew Justin Jefferson's good at football. That's not debatable.
You
want to know one of my other ones
real
is?
High guys.
My other ones, and he won't win because I never do this to. The only quarterback to ever win this was I think it might have been Herbert one year I did it, but that was like an insane outlier. And even then, no, that was rookie of the year. I didn't even give him MVP. Yeah. I gave him rookie of the year. But Jamal Williams, he's at the position. The only Geno Smith.
Yeah, for good reason.
It's
playing out of his mind.
There's that's the weird crap that welcome to 2022. The weird crap that we are dealing with this year. It's so icky.
Man.
I think icky is the right word. It's just bad. And Justin Fields can't be MVP. He could be league winner. But Jamal Williams, swear to God, he might win fantasy MVP for me this year. It's that good. That's the other thing. I might have wanted to try and hold on to Williams because Williams is the part of it that. But I get it. You can't get that deal done. Well, you can't get that deal done without giving up Williams because then you're talking about Swift isn't good enough right now because he's not getting the volume. St. Brown, not great player, similar problem. Beat up, not getting the full volume, and Goff is regressing into bad Goff.
I'd be curious. The person who I would be worried about beating out Williams would actually be Wilson.
Garrett Wilson has to do a lot of work.
Jeff Wilson. Because he just joined an offense. He had been carrying you on the 49ers, and now
he's a 10th round ADP. Well, we'll dig into that in the background here. We can't keep this going, guys. We're at the 2-minute warning. I already promised to wrap this up 3 times. We gotta start wrapping up. So Jason, I'm gonna kick it to you. We're out of questions. Polo, very nice seeing you. And Polo, you weren't here, so I'll make a special announcement just for you before I go to Jason to wrap us up. This show is on Wednesday next week. Correct. Just so you know. Same time, but we're doing it a day early because of the holiday. So we'll see you on Wednesday.
Also, holiday merch is up.
Jason, any final thoughts? They can be about Jeff Wilson, league winner, if you want. Go ahead. But any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm having more fun as more people join the Discord. So if you can, please join the Discord. Only $1 a month, and we're having a blast talking to everybody. So
we are having fun. It is a fun time in there.
As always, you can find me everywhere. That FF Nerd. So.
That's right. And enjoy your Shockers game, Jason.
They won, surprisingly.
That was all right. Well, there you go. But... And Dr. Squatch, it was a pleasure seeing you also. We welcome you into our Discord. Jordan, final thoughts, and where can the people find you?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at @DollarmanJordan, even though I don't use Twitter much anymore. I actually I use it for work, hilarious enough, but I stopped tweeting because all it is just depressing Colts tweets, and I feel like they just go to the wayside.
I saw some of those. I was actually wondering if I needed to send a therapist out to where you
No,
live.
I don't know.
I was like,
I
is
do use
Jordan
Twitter,
okay?
but
You sent a couple tweets about the Colts, and I was like, is Jordan okay?
well,
Like, I was like, does Jordan need a hug? Like Jordan needs something. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, it's a good show. I'm glad. Yeah, a lot of more new faces or new names, and
yeah, big trust, first time,
yeah, and Dr. Squatch.
For you
Unless it was
guys.
an ask me.
second time for Dr. Squad.
Yeah.
You weren't here last week, so you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I figured he
Uh,
must have made an
yeah.
appearance last week.
All right. Well, you can find me at nonsense_Neil. Although I will say the best way to get a hold of me is on our Discord. If you want to talk to me in real time, the same day minimum, talk to me on our Discord. That's the way. I'm on Discord all day, every day. I also am not nearly on Twitter as much, largely because I have my belief that Twitter is a cesspool,
Yep.
and that has also been getting worse given some of the current Google it, given some of the current dramas that's going on with Twitter. I've actually been staying off there. And also, especially during the election, I tend to really shelve Twitter because I just can't with that. So, if you want to talk to me about fantasy football, the best way to do that is to get at me on our Discord because I am on that Discord all day. So, if you have questions for us, and also not just us, but Steve is on there, we really prioritize being on the Discord. So, if you want to, it's a paid service. So, if you want to get answers to your questions, I would say in real time, but at least same day. Hit us up on Discord, and there's more people than just us to talk to you. So we look forward to seeing you on there. And good luck this week. It's week 11. Trade deadline is fast approaching for standard leagues. So get those trade questions in. Consult your league rules if you play in a league with a custom rule set. Check your constitution, and until we see you next week or next Wednesday,
Yeah.
keep up the nonsense and have a week.